Okay, so this is a really good story. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Mine has been up and down, and okay, for the life of me, I could not figure out what the moral or metaphor or the reason for the story was. It's the story about Samson. So Samson was born to a barren woman, and he was supposed to help Israel. And the Philistines, they were the ones coming against Israel the entire time. And out of all things, he wanted to go get a wife over there. He gets the wife, things go wrong, they give the wife away, he gets mad. He then goes to meet a prostitute. The Philistines try to kill him in the middle of the night, but he left early. And then he marries another Philistine woman, which is named Delilah. And for the life of me, I just did not get it. And then it hit me after speaking to a friend. It all makes sense. And I'm sure you've dealt with this multiple times. So he's able to take everybody down because he has this strength, right? And she says, what is it behind your strength? You won't tell me. He's like, I haven't even told my dad. And she says, well, if you love me, you would tell me, because the Philistines threatened her. They said, we'll kill your entire family unless you tell us what can take your husband down. And he tells her a few different lies. One, he says 7 cord strings, 7 fresh ropes, 7, what was the last one? Bowstrings, ropes, cords, right? So for the life of me, I didn't understand it. So he tells her one, and then she ties them up with the 7 ropes, right? And then she says in the middle of the night, as she ties them up, the Philistines are among us, and then she thinks that they're going to kill him. He, of course, is able to just break the ropes. It happens a second time. She's like, you don't love me, you lied to me. He tells her the second thing, what could overtake him. And then, of course, he breaks them free. The Philistines are among us. So then, a third time, he tells her, and I'm like, has he not learned his lesson? You're telling her exactly what will take you down. She does it. You're not taken down, but you keep telling this woman. So she continues to nag him to where he's gone crazy, right? And Samson decides, she said, if you love me, you would tell me. You don't love me. How dare you not love your wife, blah, blah. And he says, well, my hair has never had a razor to it, and that's what would take me down. So when he was a baby, God told his mom, not to cut his hair, that he was one of the chosen ones. So the strength was in his hair, right? And his biggest thing was to take down as many Philistines as he could during his life to protect Israel. So he finally tells her, I've never had a razor taken to my head. So he falls asleep, and she has somebody come in, shaves his head. And then, of course, the Philistines come in. She says, the Philistines are among us. They tie him up. And guess what? They're able to capture him and basically almost imprison him. And then they have him perform in this big arena where all these rulers and everybody in the Philistines are there. And they're basically watching him. They gouged his eyes out. He's so weak that he can barely stand. And he asked the Philistines, well, can I stand between the 2 pillars to hold myself up? And they said yes. He then prays to God, God, please, if you're really there for me, give me strength one more time, just one more time. And lo and behold, he pushes the pillars down, and the whole entire arena, building, whatever it was, collapses down, and it kills more Philistines than he was able to kill during the time that he was alive. So his purpose ended up still coming to truth. And I was like, why does he keep... Okay, so the thing is how many times have you told somebody, whether it be a friend, a family member, a significant other, you tell them your weaknesses, you tell them, and they continue to betray you. And they do it over and over again. So it's the same exact thing. Yes, this is more of an extreme because they're murdering him, or, trying to capture him and then murder him. But lesson learned is you shouldn't tell too many people too many things, because they're going to use your weakness against you. And I said, oh my God, well, there it is. If I would have, practiced that or listened to that last year before I had to cut a whole bunch of people off. Yeah, it was a really good story though. So before you start to tell everybody everything, sometimes you need to discipline yourself and just keep your mouth shut, because once you two do split, whoever the person may be, you don't want them to be able to use that against you. Or a friend of mine was saying that he had an invention that he put together, and then his best friend business partner basically ran away with the idea. Luckily at the time, he only told him steps 1 through 6, and he didn't even get around to telling him 7 through 10 yet, and the guy ran with the idea. So he was able to get his business back, and the guy pretty much has no money, no nothing right now. So his karma definitely came to him. So sometimes you always should, like, even if it's like a banana bread recipe, you leave the last ingredient out to not share to somebody because you don't want them taking it from you. So yeah, that's really it. Let me know if this has helped you in any sort of way, because this story definitely helped me. And then make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Mwah!